by surprise himself. And as he rightly expressed in his message, which he is calling on his God, Paul Biya, who turns out to be a dead God that cannot hear him at this time, and trying to make some accusations against some individuals within the La République du Cameroon B that they are responsible for what is happening to him. Now, this is Fritz and Albert Summer Thomas. What can you explain as being the reason for what is now happening to Moja Moja, given the fact that this is a guy that has had access to some of the highest profile members of La République du Cameroon's government, including the Prime Minister? Of recent, I think we saw him greeting Samuel Eto'o. And again, we saw him being blessed by a priest in Boya just of recent. So, what has brought about this change of fortunes for Moja Moja? If Comrade Fritz, you may go first, then let Honorable Samuel Thomas come in after you.
Yes, we all have learned from the past about the betrayal of La Republique. No one should trust La Republique, no matter how you show your servitude, no matter how much you put your time, your services into La Republique. They will use you and dump you. Moja Moja is no, it's not the first. We have seen series of Ambazonians who call themselves elites and politicians who have spent all their time to serve La Republique, but they have been dumped. So Moja Moja is not like any one of the first that has been dumped, used and dumped. But let's focus on the allegations. The atrocities of Moja Moja, the chief of Mwasa village, Ewome John, aka Moja Moja, has been very, very renowned. We also know his atrocities across Amazonia. We have seen his divide and rule, his xenophobic tendencies. We have seen everything that he has been doing, trying to uh, use his military uh, weapon and against the civilians, innocent civilians, killing even university students, saying that they are Amazonian fighters. So this is something. Even when the prime minister, the colonial prime minister, came to the southern zone, he told him, please stop these atrocities. So before, he has been warned of all these atrocities that he has been committing. But let's look at it in this way now when it comes to what is the crook of the matter. Okay, there's something very, very specific in this thing, because he was asked to go and be one of the coup plotters, the coup d'etat that they are trying to do. But it seems as if it did not work out, and they sent him out of the ring. So he revealed something very, very specific in his outings, yes, that we have to look very, very critically. So yeah.
Yeah, just a phrase. I don't know how true what he is saying is, or he's trying to buy some sympathy from Paul Biya, their God, to look at him and maybe redeem him from his predicament currently. But the thing is this: this is a guy who said he learned of it. He was dismissed, and they did not even care to notify him. He learned of it from us, the Ambazonians, as he rightly said. We informed him of his dismissal. That is, those who dismissed him did not even care to notify him. He learned it from, we notified him that he was dismissed. And it's very comical and tragic at the same time for Moja Moja, given the fact that this is a guy who has persecuted our civilians. He has killed innocent students and caused acts of sacrilege on their dead bodies. And we will see one of those images shortly, where he killed two university students, placed their bodies in public, and then he stood on them. We will see one of those images soon. So I would like to ask Honorable Sama Thomas, given this change of fortunes for Moja Moja, a guy who has had unfettered access to some of the highest members of La République du Cameroon's government, What is your own explanation for this tragedy that is now befalling? Not surprising, of course, but we have not expected it because I don't know if it's just me, but I refuse to believe that La Republique of Cameroon has all of a sudden had an epiphany, and they have realized now that this guy has been doing things the wrong way, or he has been committing crimes when they have egged him on the whole time. They've egged him on, and they give a wink wink to all the crimes that he has committed. So why now? Why at this time? Honorable Samuel Thomas. Honorable Samuel Thomas, I don't know if you can hear me or you are frozen. I hope not. I hope you are not frozen. But I was just Honorable Samuel Thomas seems frozen. Honorable Samuel Thomas, if you can log off and log back on, and then just say Fritz. While he's logging off and logging back on, if we can carry on with the conversation while Honorable Samuel Thomas gets his
Okay.
network straightened out.
Okay. Yes. Okay. Let's look at his outings and his outbursts in the past. Remember, when the colonial governor asked all the chiefs to march one time like that, Moja came out and said the chiefs cannot go out and march. You know.
Okay.
And yeah, and there was this issue of the elites. He was complaining that all his work he's doing, the elites are not supporting him. He's working to fight against the Ambazonian struggle. The elites are not supporting him. That only the Bamileke people are supporting him. That the Bamileke people even bought him a car to continue his work. That's when we knew about that most of the support that he was having from the Bamileke community. You know, even the arrest of those 2 university students that he killed, all the things that his contract that he signed with the government of La Republique, he has not fulfilled it because they wanted him to use his witchcraft to counter the Ambazonian struggle, the Ambazonian restoration fighters. They couldn't do that. He he's good at carrying snakes, putting on his head and trying to go around Munya and trying to say he's fighting Ghost Town. But we have seen this before. If people like Ekema Patrick, who fought tooth and nail against Ghost Town, could not succeed and was still killed by La Republique, who is Moja? Who is Moja? Even if Chief Inoni, former prime minister, is still in Kondegi today.
Yep.
So
Yep.
who Moja? You know what I'm saying? That government has no friend. So when
to that point, this is a phrase. This is what we have told these people, that you cannot trust a lot of people to Cameroon because they will use you and dump you. That is what they do.
Exactly.
They have no regard for anyone from the southern Cameroons. Okay, a warning should be sent to the likes of Nkonda Titus, Nasri Clovis, these other Bertus, and these other enablers. They should not think that La Republic cares about them. La Republic does not care about you. They will use you when the moment is right. They will dump you. This is my suspicion, Comrade Fritz. This thing is bigger than we are looking. You remember when Moja killed those 2 students, put their bodies in public, and I have a flyer. The studio has that flyer. I would like for that flyer to be put out there. I personally created that flyer, and it was sent out there, where he killed those 2 students and he climbed on their bodies in public, committing acts of sacrilege. That crime sent his file very far up the ladder. And I believe that there is some pressure from the international community for this guy to be held responsible. So this is my suspicion. I may be wrong, but this is my suspicion that La Republique is paving the way for this guy to stand trial for war crimes when the time is right. They are making sure that they remove any protections that he may have to make him vulnerable so that when the moment comes, he will be handed over to be tried for war crimes. And all those, like I've said, Nkonda Titus, who likes to come out and brag. The time will come when he will look up to La Republic of Cameroon for protection, and that protection will not be there. Don't be surprised that in the days ahead, this guy will suffer even more severe consequences, including being eliminated by La Republic itself to conceal the evidence of their collaboration with him, just to hide that evidence so that they are not held responsible when this, because if this guy is put on trial, I bet you he will talk and he will call names. He will call names. This is Nasiri Clovis roasting plums and whatever and making noise how he is living well. But this is the plight of these enablers. They are not being taken care of. But as I was saying, there is something bigger behind what is happening to Moja. The international community is, I believe, is very much involved with pressure on La République du Cameroon to hold this guy responsible. And what is happening to him now is just a precursor to things that may still happen to Moja in the days ahead. Comrade Fritz, I don't know if you are following along this line of reasoning that I have, that Moja is in more trouble than we are seeing right now in the days ahead.
Yes, of course. You know that we always condemn the La Republic government of trying our civilians in military court, but this is the right time for the military to try military in military court. That's called martial law. The military has to try any military that commit crimes in the military court, not civilians. So Moja will be sent to that court, and according to the French newspaper, they said his crime is summary execution. They said numerous summary execution, torture, and
acts of immoral acts. Mm-hmm.
Yes, so those are crimes that the military are charging him of. So he's not only being dismissed from the B, he's also being tried to go. So he will appear in court, which is the martial court, the military court. Yes, for all his crimes. Right.
Yeah, and it is very tragic to see what is happening to Moja because when you look at him closely, you know that this is a guy who has mental issues. He's a mental patient. But La République du Cameroon did not hesitate to exploit him, exploit his mental condition, to use him to commit acts of some really heinous crimes, torture. We saw him several times torturing civilians in public, and nobody said anything. Nobody questioned him. The so-called law enforcement officials were egging him along, and sometimes he went on missions with in the company of some of the Republic of Cameroon's military. So I wonder why they are penalizing him now when they themselves provided the guns and the other military officials who accompanied him on these missions to torture our civilians. But they exploited a mental patient, and now they are throwing him under the bus. Not that it is strange, not that we are surprised. That is what La République du Cameroon does best. Now, on a related note, Comrade Fritz, we just received a letter from Abdul Karim. A letter from Abdul Karim where he is writing to express the fact that given the basis for his arrest, which was based on the fact that he challenged Moja to come to Bamenda and do the things that he is doing in Boya, it is on that premise that Abdul Karim was arrested and thrown in jail. And I would like to read here the letter of Abdul Karim so that we can understand exactly and then evaluate what should be the right thing for La République to do at this time related to Abdul Karim's case. Now, let me read what Abdul Karim writes. When I asked them the reason for my abduction on the night of August 11, 2022, they said, "You threatened Moja," in brackets, a woman, Echo John. After 634 days of incarceration, torture, and dehumanization of my person, yesterday they expelled a woman John from their military, citing immoral behavior, among others, as raison d'etre. Notice that they wield him the power and impudence to publicly maim, torture, and kill my people, and that is why I challenge him to dare that in Bamenda. The challenge stands to this day. Two truths cannot contradict each other. The dark spot at the center of my skull isn't witticism. Any falsehood against me, internal or external, shall be exposed and will perish. It is victory or death. Now, let's look at this letter from Abdul Karim. Let's look at this letter from Abdul Karim. Given the basis upon which Abdul Karim was arrested and thrown in jail, which was that he dared to challenge Moja, who was held in high esteem. Remember, the abduction and incarceration of Abdul Karim was in protection of this same Moja, who is now being indicted and thrown out of their military. So, Comrade Fritz, given the
Yes.
premise upon which Abdul Karim was abducted, which was based on the criticism of Moja, isn't it right now that in order to make right the injustice that has been done to Comrade Abdul Karim, that he should immediately be released from incarceration? Because by taking the actions that La Republic Cameroon has taken against Moja is thereby vindicating Comrade Abdul Karim of any wrongdoing. Therefore, that said, the only thing that should be done now, there are three things that must be done, except La Republic of Cameroon will rescind the actions that have been taken against Moja. There are three things that must be done. First, Abdul Karim must be released from jail with immediate effect. Secondly, they have to render to him an apology for wrongful incarceration. And thirdly, he has to be compensated for being illegally detained for the duration that he has been in jail. I think those are the three things that must be done. If the action that La Republic of Cameroon is taking now must stand and are right, then Abdul Karim must be vindicated. What do you think, Comrade Fritz?
Yes, I don't want to single-handedly talk about Abdul Karim because all of our leaders, activists, anybody in the dungeons of La Republique is falsely being imprisoned.
The reason I'm saying this is because
Because
his own case is very particular to Moja. That's the only reason I'm linking it, because his case, the only reason he was picked because he challenged him. Go ahead with your thought, though.
listen, La Republique just look for means to imprison our people. Abdul Karim, listen, Abdul Karim was in Canada. Abdul Karim was in Switzerland for the negotiation. Abdul Karim was part of the acting. Abdul Karim was part of an activist going to BBC and having interviews. All those things culminated. So when you talk about Moja, it was just an excuse to arrest him. It has nothing to do with the whether he challenged Moja or whether he challenged. Abdul Karim was an activist. He was member of the ACT team who was in the Swiss-led negotiation process. So the Republic government was just looking for an excuse to arrest him, and they were looking for that unique moment. You know, we just like we told Ayok Tabe, we told Abdul Karim to stay in Canada and seek his asylum there, because we know that those are the people that La Republic is planning to arrest. There is no way any activist will live here and go to Cameroon. You think that you'll be free? There's no way. They'll look for something and arrest you. Talking about Moja's case, yes, Moja was very prominent. he had that prowess. But La Republic know that he has a lot of information in his bank now. He has a lot of information that the only way now is to sideline him, so that because this information that is revealing is very, very alarming, especially when it comes to coup d'etat. He said that there are colonels that are out there that asked him 2 years ago. In this video, he said 2 years ago they asked him to plot a coup d'etat on the state, but he refused, and they cut his salary. Yes, he said that they cut his salary, and that is why they have removed that they are planning to remove him, and that they put a second name in that list just to blindfold the state that other second name concerns any dismissal. That is only about him, plotting him, because he refused to be part of that gang of coup d'etat that they want to plot against the CPDM regime. So there is something that he's going to face. Apart from this crime of execution and killing, this issue of coup d'etat, they're going to arrest a lot of colonels. So there's a lot of implication if you want to look at it critically when it comes to that.
Okay, now let's look at it this way. Moja, by coming out and making the pronouncements that he made yesterday about a supposed coup d'etat, this guy has just quadrupled the number of enemies that he has. He has just, because there are people now within La Republique du Cameroon who will be very glad to have his head. Because if there's any inkling of truth in what he said, then this guy is a dead man walking. If there is any truth in what Moja said about a supposed coup where he was called to be part of and he refused, if there's any truth to it, he's a dead man walking. He is a dead man walking, and he has boxed himself. I don't know where he can run to. Can he run to the Ambazonian people? No way. Is he going to run to, who is he going to run to in La Republique du Cameroon for protection? He is pretty much alone now. He has enemies all around him. So, what are we saying here? What we are saying, fellow Ambazonians, is this. And to those other idiots out there who call themselves enablers, if you think that La Republique cares about you, you are a fool. They will use you just as they have used Moja, and they will dump you at the slightest risk to them. They don't care about you. Your life means nothing to them. They don't have any permanent friends. They have permanent enemies though. As they hate us, they have hated us for the past 60-something years, and they still hate us today. But they, especially if you are from the southern Cameroons, they don't care about you. People like John Gute who are there, they are just being used. Nobody cares about them. Nobody cares about John Gute. Again, look at Inone Ephraim. He is sitting in jail today. What's his crime? Yes. That's a guy who was the prime minister at one time, right? He is sitting in jail. Even this guy, Mendoza, who sang all kinds of songs for Paul Biya, he died. They released him to go and die. So if you think that these people care about you, you are a fool. You are a fool. Do what is best for you. But what is best for you is not taking on La Republique as a permanent friend. It does not exist. Now, I don't know if you have anything more to say about Moja before we transition to the next topic. Comrade Fritz.
Yes, just to say that on our POWs, our prisoners of conscience, Abdul Karim is it's not the only one that is wrongfully incarcerated. But we have heard from the United Nations group about the release of all the Naira 10 and the Taraba and everybody that is wrongly incarcerated. La Republic has not heed to that. Even the Nigerian High Court asked them to release and also compensate them, but La Republic does not listen to that. So if you are single-handedly talking about Abdul Karim, then you are making a mistake, because all the other leaders, the international community, have put pressure on the government of La Republic. Release those people. They are innocent. They were wrongfully arrested. These people are professors in Nigeria. They were working in Nigeria. Some are Nigerian citizens already. You go and arrest them illegally. So when we look at it, you see that La Republic has a a lot of international pressure, not only with the crimes of Moja, but also the illegal arrests and torture of of our people who are wrongfully arrested.
Mhm. Yeah. Okay, let's move on. But the one thing I still believe that, given the reason for Abdul Karim's arrest, I think it is only fair for La Republique de Cameroon to now reverse course, given the fact that they too have said Moja is a criminal, is not very different from what Abdul Karim said, that he should be set free and compensated for his illegal detention. Now, let's go to this case of Joshua Osi, who went down to the south with his, I don't know, the share of what is remaining of the SDF, and to do what there, and he was blocked and chased out of there. If there is anything else that could have demonstrated that we are two separate people, that act alone, if you look at the images and the manner in which the population behaved, and the so-called law enforcement officials, how they behaved during that incident, that should tell you clearly that we are two separate people.